Hi, I'm Amy, and this is A-Star Reads, and it's time to do my July TBR. It's time to play the game of Bookish Life. So I am usually very excited about this video. I'm usually excited about my monthly TBR, but this week, I didn't want to film it. I just didn't want to film anything. I have been feeling low, and it's been hard, but I know that next week I'll probably be feeling better, and then I will kick myself for not having got it done. So here I am, and I'm going to be excited about this. I am excited about it. Yeah, you know how that goes. So I'm a little nervous about my July TBR just because I feel like although I got a lot read in June, I really got a lot read, there's still a lot of things that I need to read, and I've been feeling some of the pressure. Most of it's just been self-inflicted, but I've been feeling the pressure because the summer is flying by so quickly already that I'm just a little frustrated with that. So I'm gonna say that, of course, I have all these books on my TBR for July, but if I don't get to all of them, that's okay. My punishments in this game are easy, and I made them that way on purpose. If I take a punishment, I have to move backwards on the board, and I have to choose challenge books as opposed to quick cut books. Like, really not that bad. And so July is just gonna be a fun reading month, and I'm hoping to get caught up on some of the books that I've been wanting to read for my secret TBRs because I have never been able to put those out. That was one of my goals for this year, was to be able to put out more of my secret TBRs. So some of those books may end up on my unofficial TBR for the month, or I may just scrap everything and mood read. I feel that wild. I feel like I may not stick to this TBR. I'm going a little rogue, but that's okay. I still wanted to put it out there. It's a possibility. These are the books that I will probably most likely read in the month of July. If you're new here and you'd like to see what this whole game is all about, what are the rules, what's going on, what is Amy doing, check out this January video. I go over all the rules. There are some rules that I have added since, so if you'd like to then get caught up on all the videos that I've had this year, go ahead and do that. I will have a playlist linked in the description box below so you can watch all my games because it's a lot of fun. The gameplay is so much fun. And also I have extra spins that I do every month because I roll for my friend Magda. So at the very end of this video, you will see all of her spins. So if you're just looking for some more gameplay, stick around because I got a lot of it. So first, let's do a June recap. And as I said, June was a really productive reading month, but not necessarily for the books that I needed to get done for this TBR. So my very first roll in June was a book with flowers on the cover, and this I chose The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, and I did finish this. I finished that one completely. I don't have to take any punishments for it. My second book was a book that had love, romance, or a prominent relationship in it, and I chose City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. I have not even started this one yet, and I will have to read it because it'll be a book that I need to read before the 8th of July. I'm just not gonna get it done and probably won't get my 100 pages in before the end of the month. So I will probably have to take a punishment for this one in, well, it would be August, so I don't have to worry about it quite yet. Then for my third spin, I had Mom pick, and my mom picked one of her favorite books, Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. She loved this book. It was her top rated book in 2021. I am on page 266, so I will definitely get this one finished before the end of the month. And even so, I've at least read 100 pages, so I'm not gonna have to take a punishment for this one. And finally, for my fourth spin, it was a My Choice. As a My Choice, you would imagine that I should get it done, right? And especially because it's a novella. I chose All Systems Red by Martha Wells, and I have not even looked at this. I have not looked at it. So I'm currently playing a game that doesn't allow me to pick my next book, and so there's a very good chance I will not get to this. But if I roll something that allows me to get to this, then hopefully I can add it on. At the moment, it's not looking that way, and I only have a few days left of the month, so most likely I'll be taking 2 punishments in August, which, oh well. I'm oh well at this point. Let's move forward into July, and we'll look at my tallies and my very first spin. I'm really only in trouble if I land on a 6, because I have 4 tallies already on 6. Of course, then if I land on 2 or 3 multiple times, then I could be in trouble there because I've got 3 on each of those. I've got 2 tallies on 5, 7, and 10, and finally 1 tally each on 8 and 9. So we'll see how it goes. Let's hope I don't land on a 6. I hope I don't land on a 6. So last I left off, I was on My Choice, and I'm hoping to make some progress. Of course, I'm probably going to get stuck at this stop sign a little bit. So let's see where I'm going to go with spin number 1. 4, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, exactly on that TBR game. So the way this prompt works is that I will have to find somebody else's TBR game and pick either a book that they chose for their TBR game or one of the prompts they used for their TBR game. Because I didn't get a chance to do Becca's Bookathon last month, I wanted to do the 48-hour readathon, but I didn't get to because of school. I decided to use her TBR game to pick the prompt. So I didn't want to just start at the beginning because that's not nearly as fun, right? So I randomly generated 1 through 40. You'll see here that the number that I ended up on was 17. So I moved 17 spaces. That's where I'm going to be starting, which is the history spot. I will use the rules, like if I roll a double, for whatever reason I roll a double and I have to add an extra spin, I will do that. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But let's go with roll 1 and only. Yes, 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A spooky book. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna have spooky as my prompt, and I'm excited about that. That is my TBR game pick. So this was a really fun spin, and I absolutely love TBR games, so this was perfect for me. Because I didn't get a chance to participate in Becca's Bookathon back in May, I decided to use that board and kind of see where it took me. And it took me to spooky, which I thought was a really fun vibe because I haven't had a chance to read any spooky books in quite a while. So I'm picking The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse, and this is one that I know gets very mixed reviews, but I have wanted to read this ever since it first came out. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. It works for something, which those who know or can remember, I have been promising a video the second to my Trash My TBR video for a while. So this, as a spoiler, will work for that, and hopefully I will get that out in July. So this is a mystery thriller about a sanatorium in the Swiss Alps that is converted into this really high-end hotel. And this woman, the main character, Elin, goes to this hotel because her brother is having an engagement party. And she actually happens to be a detective as well. She's like this really super overworked detective. She doesn't want to be at the hotel, but she knows she should go support her brother. And so when she first gets there, things are already starting to feel kind of off about this place. And she finds out pretty quickly that her brother's fiance has gone missing. So she has to kind of solve the case, figure out where her brother's fiance is before someone else goes missing as well. And so I'm really excited about this because I love this kind of setting. I love these creepy settings. And I think that this will be perfect for, you know, a summer book. Because look how summery that is. This just gives me all the summer vibes. And maybe it'll cool me down when I'm feeling hot during the month of July. I don't know. We'll see. It just, it is kind of a strange choice. But I'm excited about it. Now I'm at the stop sign. And for spin number 2, I'm hoping to not land on 1 or 10, because that would mean that I would be stuck on the stop sign again. But let's see where we're gonna go with spin number 2. 3. I didn't move too far. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. A book card. I love getting book cards. I haven't got a book card in a while. Ooh, that does mean that I now have 4 tallies on number 3, so that could be a problem. All right, let's see what book card I'm gonna get. This feels like a lucky one right here. This will be a fun one for Isaac. Cat pick. My cat gets to pick what book I'm gonna read. Now what I might do, because it landed on dark orange, is I might make sure that these are all adult fiction books. And what I mean by adult fiction for the purposes of my game is either a contemporary novel, a historical fiction, or a literary fiction. So I may give him 3 of those choices and see what he chooses. Okay, we got 3 books, and Mom's releasing the Isaac. Come on, Isaac, come on. Which one do you want? No, not me. Not me. Eat the snacks. Eat the treats. Here. Aha! The one I need to read anyways! Smart cat, smart cat. Spin number 2 was a little complex, but a lot of fun. It was a book card, and I ended up getting cat pick, which is always fun, but I wanted to make it a little more challenging. So the books that I actually picked had to go with the genre that the color landed on. So it was adult fiction, which by adult fiction I mean contemporary fiction, historical fiction, or literary fiction. So the first book I picked was The Harlem Shuffle, which is a book by Colson Whitehead that I've been really wanting to read. And then I had The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedmen, because this is, for one, an obligation read, a book that I'm planning on reading in July anyways. But two, I've been wanting to read this one for a long time. It's been on many TBRs and has not been read. And then I thought, I'll go with a book that's a little easier. So I'll go with the book by Celeste Ng, which is Little Fires Everywhere, which is a very popular book, nice little short book, and we'll see if I get that. So it actually worked out so that my very first book was a literary fiction / historical fiction. My second book was a historical fiction, and my third book was a contemporary fiction. I thought that worked out cool. As you saw, Isaac chose The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman, and this works out perfectly because I need to read it anyways. So I'm not actually adding an extra book onto my TBR. And I'm excited about this one. I have been excited about this one, and despite the fact that I never actually read it when I put it on my TBR, I do want to read this one. So this is post World War I. It's in Australia at 1926. There's this man named Tom who gets hired on to run a lighthouse. So him and his wife go to this lighthouse, and they're completely isolated in this place, and they have to live their life there. Well, they try and conceive a child, and they have multiple miscarriages. They have a lot of difficulty conceiving, and they want to expand their family. So they're really emotionally struggling with this. Well, at one point, a little boat shows up at the lighthouse, has a dead man in it and a live infant child, and they don't know what to do. And they're isolated out there, so it's not like people really know what's going on. And they decide to take the child and say that it's their own. And this lie will probably come back and haunt them. At least that's kind of what I'm getting from this. So I'll be interested to see what happens and where the story goes. Okay, so I've adjusted the camera so we can see more of the board. And let's see where we're gonna go with spin number 3. Oh, we're safe on 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A book in a series. Yes, this is amazing. That is a great prompt because I'm always working on series. Spin number 3 was a nice, easy one. A book in a series. For the Bookstar Readalongs, we have series that we're reading throughout the whole year, and we have 2 series that we're currently going through. And the book for July is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. We are finally getting to the 3rd book in the main part of the series. And I'm so excited about this because we have been building and building the stories. There's so much detail. I absolutely love these books. I'm really loving this storyline. Love the characters. Even all the twists and turns they take, I'm still loving them. And I cannot wait to see what happens in this book. This story is based off these 2 characters. You've got Diana and you've got Matthew. Diana is a witch. Matthew is a vampire, and witches and vampires historically do not get along very well. Diana is actually a scholar who has resisted using her magic for a long time. But at one point, she accidentally calls this incredibly important manuscript called Ashmole 782. Yeah, that's right. Hey, I got it. Good memory. She pulls this book at this library of the school she works at. It sets off a series of events because all the magical creatures that are in this place nearby are drawn to the book. They all want to get their hands on it, including Matthew, who comes into contact with Diana, and this sets off their adventure together. And so it's really incredible the amount of work that has gone into these books, but it doesn't work for everyone. So as long as you really enjoy a detailed story, and you don't mind that it's not the most fast-paced story, then I think you'll enjoy this series. If you'd like to join us, there is always time, or even if you just like to jump in on some of the conversations, we have some side quests going on the Bookstar Readalongs. I will link the information for our announcement videos and our Discord. Come join us. Maybe you've already read these books and you just want to comment in the discussion sections of our Discord. Please do that. We have an amazing group, and I can't wait to talk about these books with you. And our 4th and hopefully final spin. Let's see how this goes. Fingers crossed. 1. Oh, 1 is safe. And this is a diversity rep. So I've got my spinner wheel, D for diversity rep. 1 is Indigenous author. Perfect. So I'll pick a book by an Indigenous author. And that's it. Spin number 4 was an exciting, easy one. The game actually went pretty easy on me this time around, which is good. And this was a spinner wheel with diversity rep, and the diversity rep was Indigenous author. So I'm finally getting to a book that I have put on many TBRs as well. One that I'm really, really excited to read. And Ruby, you're gonna be happy because I'm finally gonna be reading Braiding Sweetgrass. by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And Robin Wall Kimmerer is a member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. She talks a lot in this book about her indigenous ways of knowing and ecology and plant knowledge based on her own culture, but also based on the fact that she got her degree in Western science as an ecologist. At least based on what I've heard of this, she's created this beautiful balance where she can combine the two and she can respect the two, use them to create a greater knowledge of the world and ecology and what's happening to our planet. And based on that description alone, I am intrigued, fascinated, and I cannot wait to get to this because I think it's very important coming from an Indigenous family, especially one where our family has been very colonialized. It's really wonderful to get back to some more of these traditional views and traditional understandings and ways of knowing. So I love that interplay of science, but it's also very important to me to see science from an Indigenous perspective or other cultures' perspectives in general. Science is performed in different ways within different cultures, to see that recognized as valid science, because unfortunately in the Western world, we only see science as one thing. We only see it from our own perspective and what we believe to be the right way of looking at science, and that is really inaccurate. And it greatly discounts thousands of years of scientific knowledge that has been accumulated in different cultures that we don't even recognize because it comes from a different culture and it doesn't always fit in with the Western perspective of science. That is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. And so I'm excited to read this book because I have a feeling it's going to hit all the things that I need to hit and give me some new perspectives that I would like to look at. So the board was super nice to me, and that will probably come and bite me in the butt later, but I will take it for now. I'm not gonna complain. So now I wanna go over the other books that I need to read for the month, some of the challenges I'll be doing, if there's any readathons I'll be participating in July, and let's check out my buddy reads. And so as I mentioned before, the July book for Bookstar Readalongs is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. So I will link all the information you need to know if you'd like to join us for this discussion, and I hope you do because I can't wait for this one. What a finale I'm sure it's gonna be. Also, unofficially for Bookstar Readalongs, I want to binge read the Infernal Devices series in the month of July. Now, am I gonna be able to? I don't know. I will definitely read Clockwork Angel, which is the first book in that series, in July. So Paige has said now that you can alternate between the next 3 books in the Mortal Instrument series and the Infernal Devices, but it works better for my schedule if I just read them all this month. Because I'm not in school. And so we'll see if that happens. But if you'd like to join me unofficially on a buddy read of this series, I have put 3 channels up in our Discord server for Bookstar Readalongs. And each one is just for that book. There's no individual chapter channels. Haven't decided if I will put chapter channels in it. I might, just for the convenience for me. Go check out the Discord channel. Join us in Bookstar Readalongs no matter what. We still have a good time. I'm still currently reading Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafon with Danielle, so we'll be continuing that buddy read into July, I'm sure, because we are only about a third of the way through. And then also with Danielle from bookchara and with Amy from Amy's Bookish Life, we will be reading The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedmen. I'm excited about this buddy read, and it will finally get this off my TBR. I think all of us were like, we need to read this book. So we're reading it. And then finally, one of my subscribers, Anne-Marie, is going to be buddy reading Braiding Sweetgrass with me. We were going to do it in November, but because of this TBR, I was like, maybe I can push it up, and it might be a good time for me to be reading a nonfiction in July. It'll help me because these are the 2 books that have been on many, many TBRs, and now I'm buddy reading with people, so I have to read them, which is good. It's good to like have that little push. So as far as our read-alongs are going, we are still doing the Narnia read-along. We had to push our live show discussion to July 10th because we both had conflicts that came up, so we couldn't have it this past weekend. But we're going to be continuing on. And so for the next 2 books, the books in July that we'll be reading, first is The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and second is The Silver Chair. So we'll have read those 2 books, and we'll have a discussion about those later on in July or in the beginning of August. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. I want to reread The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I haven't yet read Prince Caspian. So for me, it helps that we had this extra time because I just feel like I was rushing through it, not actually getting a chance to think about it with enough clarity to be able to have a discussion about it. And finally, I am still hopefully trying to do the Percy Jackson read-along with James from James's space. And I know that I think James started the first Lightning Thief and I just didn't get a chance to. So I still want to read those first 2 books, and then the 2 books that we have set to read in July are Titan's Curse and The Battle of the Labyrinth. I think these should be pretty quick reads. Now, I know that they're not the shortest of books, but middle grades tend to go a little quicker, and based off what I've read so far, the first book, which I haven't started yet, but I read part of it in the past, these feel like they will move very quickly because of the pacing. I am excited about these. I'm really excited about them. It just didn't work out in June, so hopefully in July. And James and I are both trying to keep it very loose, so we're either going to read them or we're not, and it's not going to be a big deal. Oh, and I completely forgot. There is another readathon that I'm going to be joining. I don't know if I'll be doing this the whole time they're planning on doing this readathon, because it's going to go for like a year at least. I don't know, but I will be joining for now, and that is the Magic Tree House read-along. This is being hosted by Martine from Just Martine and Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads. 2 wonderful channels, 2 people that I absolutely adore. I'm so excited that they're doing this and that I get to join. I have never read Magic Tree House, but I've heard so much, and I know that this is very influential in a lot of people's young lives. And so because I'm becoming a teacher and I will be teaching young children that this will be applicable to, I figured it would be a good idea to read this series of books that everybody is so fond of. And I just think it would be a nice change of pace in between all these bigger books to get some little short books that I feel like, oh, I did something, I completed it. So if you'd like more information about this readathon and you want to see what it's all about, I will link the announcement video up here, and I will put all the information down in the description box below. Go check out those channels. They are amazing, amazing booktubers. So for that, I'm going to be reading Dinosaurs Before Dark. That's cute. And then The Night at Dawn. And then Mummies in the Morning. That's cute. And finally, Pirates Past Noon. We know I like a book about a pirate. So this should be a lot of fun. And I'll get to see what this series is all about. So now I want to talk about the challenges that I do every month. I don't know how well I'm doing. I will probably do an update at some point soon because we're getting mid-year to see if I've actually followed through on any of these challenges. And one of them is Buzzwordathon. This is hosted by Kayla from Booksandlala, loosely hosted. She put it together initially. She sets the goals for each month, but she doesn't really do any monthly readathons for it. She just encourages us to go at our own pace. So for July, the prompt is Bookish Words, which is perfect because I am reading the Book of Life. This is my Winter's Orbit for the month because last month Winter's Orbit worked for every single prompt it felt, and I feel like that's going to be true for the Book of Life. This is going to work for a lot of different things this month. And then Mel from Completely Melanie has this year-long challenge where we're trying to read books off of our physical TBRs. So it's called TBR Knockout, and I have been doing okay at it, but probably not as much, you know, another one I gotta do an update on and see if I've actually completed any of the books that I had planned for. There's always 2 prompts for this, and the first prompt is a book with a water creature. And so for that one, I'm going with one of my Narnia books, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. This is all about a voyage on the ship, and based on what the synopsis said, it sounds like they're going to come across some big sea creatures. So this works perfectly because I have this bind up of all the Narnia stories. The second prompt is a book with water on the cover, and here's where A Book of Life comes in and saves the day again, because this looks like it's Venice. I'm guessing, I don't know if this is actually Venice, but I'm wondering if this book is set in Venice. Because you've got all this water here. So that counts for that prompt. And then finally, the book cover book club, another similar situation. This is hosted by Caitlin E from the Lit Review. And for this, we get unique prompts every month that we use to pick a book. So for this one, I'm going to cheat a little. The prompt is tools, a book with tools on the cover. And this could be like hammer, wrench. I'm going with a writing tool because Book of Life, here we go again. Up in this corner, it's really hard to see. There is, see the hand, and there is a writing quill, and they're writing on a book. I'm considering writing tool a tool. I know, it's not like a hammer or wrench, but it's used to create something, and that's what tools are usually used for. They're used to build something. They're building a story in this case. It counts. It counts. And then finally, let's talk about readathons. Luckily, July is not the month of readathons, which June was, and I'm a little burnt out. So I'm only participating in one, which is Squash That Series. This is the 4th round, and this is hosted by Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads, who I've already mentioned, and Bailey from Is Bailey Reading. And these are both amazing channels. Please go check them out. And they created this readathon, which is all about finishing series, which is amazing because we all need to work on our series. I know that's true for me, for sure. Like what, 50 some odd series? Yeah, got a lot of work to do. They have different iterations of it every time, like different ways of playing it. Like the last round was an actual board game that they created for it. And this time around, they're going to be using Tic Tac TBR from Ruby Red's Tic Tac TBR. It's really cool because Ruby gave them the spreadsheet that they need to create the TBR, but then they use their own prompts that pertain specifically to reading series. So you create your own TBR, and then for those 4 days, you try to get as many 3 in a rows or a blackout as you possibly can. And I think that you can only double up for 2 prompts each time. So like you can only use 1 book for 2 prompts, if I remember correctly. I'm excited about this, and I think I can actually get a blackout. I'm gonna try. So I actually have already created my Tic Tac TBR board, and I'm really excited about it, but I'm not gonna share it with you yet because I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. And also I'm not creating a TBR for this readathon yet because I'm reading a lot of series in the month of July. And I don't know what I'll have completed by then because this readathon actually happens from July 21st through 24th. So it's towards the end of the month. You'll have to just wait until I put that vlog out to find out what books I'm reading and what my Tic Tac TBR board looks like. And it's a pretty good board. I'm pretty excited about it. So those are all my other books and all my challenges, my readathons, my readalongs. There's a lot going on. But I'm hoping that July is still more of a relaxed month for me because I kind of need it. I kind of need to relax a little bit. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time for the viewer prompt roll. Let's go check out that roll. So last time, viewers ended up on a book about love, romance, or permanent relationship. And if I roll a 1 or a 10, you'll be stuck there again. But hopefully not. Hopefully you'll get to move forward. So let's see where you are going for your next prompt. 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My choice. Well, that's not nearly as exciting, but you get to pick whatever you want. So this is a very easy prompt. This is whatever you want to read. If you'd like it to be more challenging, because I know that this, as a viewer prompt, is not very exciting. This dark blue is nonfiction. So you could combine the genre with my choice and choose whatever nonfiction you want to read. Okay, so this was kind of an interesting one because we landed on my choice. So I'm going to give you 3 options here. 3 options for what you can do for this. First, my choice, meaning your choice, and you could read whatever you want. No limitations, read whatever you want. This is not very exciting because you can read whatever you want anyways. Like, this is the whole point of playing my game is you actually get some prompts. So that's kind of why I'm like, okay, let's give you some other options here. The second choice is that you pick a book that you want to read that is nonfiction. So my choice, nonfiction, meaning your choice, nonfiction. Any kind of nonfiction book that you would like to read. The third choice, and this is the one I'm most excited about because it's my choice, nonfiction. And so you don't get a choice, you get to choose the book that I want you to read, and that's Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. So my choice for you is this book, and I think you should read it in July, and I am excited for you, so I hope you enjoy it. Good luck with your journey through the game of Bookish Life, and we'll see what happens next month when you move forward again, because you don't ever get to move back. Okay, so that was my official TBR, and I'm actually very excited about it. I have a lot of books on here that I'm really looking forward to. I've got quite a variety, which is nice. I like variety, and I'm hoping I actually make it through some of these books. Let me know in the comment section down below. What are some of the books on this list that you have read? Did you love them? Did you not love them? Are you excited for me? Do you think I can do it? I hope. Stay tuned if you'd like to see Magda's spins. They'll be coming right after this. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens in the month of July and see if I actually read any of the books on here or if I'm going to be getting a ton of punishments come September, because that would be for the September TBR. Fingers crossed I read some of these. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye. Okay, so now it's Magda's turn, and as far as her tallies go, she's got 3 tallies on 1, 4, and 8, so not in any immediate danger at the moment. Then she's got 2 tallies each on 2, 3, 5, and 6, and finally 1 tally each on 9 and 10. So she's got those tallies pretty spread out. And the last time we saw her, she was here on this diversity spinner wheel, and we're gonna move forward. We're probably gonna have to see which way she's gonna go, but let's see if we get to that juncture first. So let's go with spin number 1. One. Nope, not yet. Her first prompt, animal on cover or title. So basically she needs to read a book that has an animal on the cover or within the title. And this is her 4th tally for number 1. So if we land on number 1 again, Magda, you could be in trouble. Let's see where Magda's gonna go for spin number 2. Let me do other direction. 4. Okay, so we're gonna have to figure out whether we're going left or right. So if we're gonna go to the left, it's 1 through 5. Right is 6 through 10. Left, and we're going 4 spaces. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a book card. Time for another book card. Magda always hits the book cards. She always hits the book cards. Oh, and that was 4. That means, I just realized that means she also has 4 tallies on number 4. Okay, what do we got? We got a book card. Newest book on your TBR. Oh, Magda, I'm sure that you can figure this one out for sure because you're always adding books to your TBR, especially because you're always going through the books on your TBR. So whatever is the newest, the latest, absolute latest book that you've added on your TBR, that would be the book you'll read. All right, let's see where Magda's gonna go for spin number 3. 10. You're safe on 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another book card. Are you serious? All right, let's see what book card you're gonna get this time, Magda. Oops, I spilled one. Who's that? That's not a book card. That's from Bookshara. Okay. Let's go with this one. And it is... Oh, viewer recommends. These are always fun. So in the comment section down below, please give some recommendations to Magda. They can be any kind of recommendations because she's read so many different types of books. But maybe one of your favorite books that you've read recently. Give her a recommendation. One of the absolute favorite books you've read recently, and we'll see what she picks. Okay, so we're still doing good. Magda hasn't had to have any extra spins yet, and we're gonna see where she's gonna go for spin number 4. 2. You are safe. You're safe with 2. 1, 2. Isolated woodsy settings. So basically a setting of this story where people are isolated. So like a good example would be like No Exit by Taylor Adams because they're stuck at a rest area, this group of people. Or it could be like The Martian from Andy Weir because he's stuck all by himself on a planet where nobody else is. So anything that is like isolated or woodsy, creepy, scary could be a good option for this one. That would be the kind of book you pick, isolated woodsy setting. And what could be your very last spin, Magda? We were gonna go for spin number 5. That was a big spin. 9. You're safe with 9. You're doing good, Magda. You don't have any extra spins, even if you wanted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is a genre pick. 9 is dark green, which is YA fantasy. Your final book just needs to be a YA fantasy, Magda, and that's it. That was pretty good. Seems like a pretty decent TBR. You got quite a variety on there. So let us know in the comment section down below what you pick, and I cannot wait to see. So Magda and I got off pretty easy this month, which is good. It's good. July will be a good month for catching up. August will probably kick us in the butt, but hopefully not. Hopefully it's nice to us. So don't forget to put in the comment section down below your recommendations for Magda. Preferably, they will have an audiobook because that's the only type of books that she is able to read. She has a vision impairment, and so she needs to read audiobooks. So if you've already done the research and they have an audiobook, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, she can always check and see if it's available. If it's not, then she'll go to the next viewer recommendation. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.